Whoever said you can't start a garden in July just doesn't know how a garden works. We got well over 100 days before we have to even worry about frost. And everything I'm going to talk about is going to be able to produce fruit and vegetables well within that 100 days. Now, maybe a little too late to start tomatoes by seed, but 3 weeks ago we took this as a sucker out of that tomato in the straw bale. We've rooted it, we've up-potted it, we've let the roots, they're already coming out the bottom. We're ready to put this in the ground. We're going to have tomatoes off of this sucker well within this year. And this basil, we also topped out, is ready to go in the ground. And we're going to make more basil plants out of that throughout the season. But I'm going to give you a bunch of seeds you can plant today that you're going to be able to harvest well within that 100 days. Come on, let's plant. And here, 2 days before July, it started raining at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it didn't stop till about an hour ago. But just like everything else, just move that mulch out of the way, move the worms out of the way, dig your hole just big enough to accommodate your plant. Now with the tomato, it'll continue to root, so we don't really have to worry about how deep we plant that. Pinch off that lower sucker. Just look at the roots on that. We'll plant this one just a little deeper. Get her down in your hole. Snug that in around. And we've started our July garden. You can do this too. Just mulch back in around it. And that soil's good and wet from the rain. I'm going to plant a basil right next to it as a companion. One of our favorite things to plant at the beginning of July are bush beans. We've got some bush beans growing. We also have a volunteer tomato from last year. Basil is like the tomato. Oh, look at those roots. And it'll root the entire stem. We've talked about that a lot. It's one of your easier plants to grow. We still have a little room right here. Let's go ahead and get a couple seeds in the ground. Just move that mulch out of the way. And if you're a new gardener, here are 2 seeds that are almost guaranteed to grow themselves. Plant and ignore. Radishes and beets. Radishes grow very, very fast. Within like 20, 25 days, I'm just going to put a nice little line of radishes. Good soil contact. And within just a couple days, those will be sprouted. I'm also going to plant some beets in this same area. Has anybody ever said you can't have enough beets? We got beets growing everywhere. Soil contact. Put a very light little bit of mulch on top of that to help hold that moisture from that rain. There you go. Those are my first 2 seeds to recommend. Radishes and beets. I set up this little tripod because we had volunteer peas. Now as they die back, we're going to go ahead, we're going to use this tripod. We're going to go ahead and plant some cow peas. Black-eyed peas. They like the heat, and they grow really fast. Here, I'm just going to open to soil in an area and put a couple peas in each spot. I'm not going to plant too many because once they get going, they really get going. You just push that mulch back over them, you're going to be good to go. That way I don't have to take this down. Now we got a watermelon growing here. Black diamond watermelons grow very, very fast. We're going to go ahead and put a couple of those in the ground. But today is Saturday, and you know what that means. That means we get to go to you and celebrate what's going on in your garden. While I find a suitable piece of fence to plant some black diamond watermelons, let's go ahead and take a look at a few of our viewer contributions. Art may have lost his first set of bananas in Oklahoma, but his banana trees are getting ready to flower. Maybe we'll have time to get some bananas, Art. That is wonderful. And while that's going on, your greenhouse is working like designed. Yeah, it's a little warm, but those vents seem to be keeping everything going. First harvest of peppers and tomatoes. Keep us informed, Art. This is wonderful. Thank you. Joanna's container gardening in high desert, California. She's got tomatoes set, squash set, baby watermelons, and a few other things just sprouting. Looks like you're going to have a decent harvest, Joanne. This is wonderful, even in the high desert. Thank you. Rusty sent a couple shots of his lavish garden. Technology, you know. But we do have a couple shots of his containers, and they're going well. I can attest the rest of his garden looks lovely. Rusty, thank you. We look forward to seeing the rest of your garden. Our contributors are absolutely fantastic. Please hit the like button. That tells YouTube to push this out to more people that might want to learn how to garden. And right here at the start of July, this is a good time to teach people. Yes, you can still garden right now, even if you haven't started yet. I actually found 2 sets of seeds that I want to plant. One, the black diamond watermelon. Got a little spot here on the fence. It looks like it needs something. These only take about 75 days, so we still have plenty of time. Now I'm going to plant 2 little hills of 3 just to make sure we get good germination. You just poke that down in the soil. That's all you got to do. And then right over here, we're going to plant another round of cucumbers. Cucumbers are also very quick growing and they really like the heat. I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the watermelons. I'm going to put 3 seeds pretty close together in a couple little spots just to make sure we got decent germination. And I'm just barely poking those into the soil. Good soil contact. The soil is good and wet from the rain we just had. And just look at that, our walking onions have come up. And we got a volunteer squash of some kind. Well, we'll see what we get there. But since we got a little open area right here, let's go ahead and put in a little corn. I'm just going to make 2 little rows right here. And I'm going to put another round of sweet corn in. Oh, sure you got time. I'll put another little row of sweet corn in. It takes about 75 days till you get ears. And since we've got a squash, that gives us 2 part of our 3 sisters. I'm going to space these out a little bit. The reason we're doing a couple rows is these wind pollinate, and we want to have enough plants that they're actually going to make some ears. So I planted those just a little deeper, poke those down into the soil. Make sure they got soil contact. I'm covering them a little bit. And I'm going to put some mulch on top. We're going to call that good. And while we got a little area with some volunteer turmeric coming up, and a couple of those last tomatoes we planted, and our trusty little dandelion, let's go ahead and put some summer squash in the ground. We got plenty of time for the yellow squash, your zucchini, or your butternut. I only like to put 2 or 3 seeds in one area because when you have to come back and thin them out, which I never do, I don't want to have to choose. I know, once it starts growing, it's really hard for me to thin them out. And throughout July, anytime you have a hole anywhere in your garden, go ahead and put a zucchini plant, or a yellow crookneck squash, or another butternut. Your amaranth and your carrots are 2 more that you can go ahead and plant right now in July and still have more harvest throughout the summer. Although these are going to seed just nicely, we're just going to let them do their thing. Now check out a pest problem I just found. And since we don't spray, I'm going to solve this the easy, old-fashioned way. I'm going to take that leaf off. I have to take it outside the garden because with the mulch it's too spongy, but I'm going to just step on these. They'll be gone. That'll take care of that. That kind of showed us another area where we had an open space. Here's something else you can plant in July and really have a decent harvest. This will produce all the way up through frost, and that's okra. Now these do get kind of tall, so we're going to plant them back here on this line. By that time, the sunflower, which is another one you can plant in July, it provides a ton of food for your pollinators, brings in butterflies. So we're going to plant some okra right here, and we're also going to plant some zucchini in amongst that okra. So if you haven't started your garden, you do this in first part of July, within a week or so, you're going to have so much green coming up out of the ground, you'll be amazed. So I'm going to space these out just a little bit. I think I'll plant 2 seeds of each kind of squash. While I finish this up, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple more of our contributors. Larry's in full swing with the hardest work you ever have to do in a garden. He's picking blueberries by the quart. Everything else is coming in on a daily basis. Larry, thank you for showing us why we do this, because it tastes great. Now, if you're down in Orlando, Florida, and you've got a food forest, you've got some tropical things coming on, and then you can have mangoes straight off the tree. Wonderful, Bruce. Dale and Debbie are new to our community. They're in Tucson, Arizona. They've had a couple 110-degree days. They're raised beds next to their house. They don't give them a lot of room, but look what comes out when you're using deep mulch. Dale, Debbie, thanks for the inspiration and welcome to this group. Weren't those awesome? Please leave a comment down below and let everybody know just how much you appreciate them sharing what's going on in their garden. And I invite you to become a member of this community. There is no obligation. You just send in a photo now and again, let us celebrate your garden, help motivate others, and teach them exactly what's possible in a garden. We'd love to help celebrate your achievement. And right now, we're just waiting on things to ripen and continue to grow. And now we got new seeds in the ground. Kid growing up in Wyoming hoeing this stuff, they used to say if it wasn't knee-high by the 4th of July, we weren't going to have a harvest. Well, it's almost July 1st, and I think we're a little higher than knee-high. Before you know it, you'll be ready to start picking your first cucumbers. You can do this too. And once your sweet potatoes start vining, they take off like mad. Did you know you can eat these leaves? Oh yeah, fresh young sweet potato leaves, one of my favorite. We're almost at the point we can just come out here and graze all day. It's one of our favorite things to do in the garden. You can do this too. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.